Man, every time the Eagles hit the field lately, there is this feeling that something special is brewing. And a lot of that hype comic upon the rise of Quinyon Mitchell. The kid is playing like he has been in the league for a decade, reading offenses like a seasoned veteran, reacting before the ball even leaves the quarterback's hand. It is wild to think that earlier in the year he was almost glued to the right side of the field, snap after snap, building his confidence brick by brick, but something shifted. Now he is floating between both sidelines, locking down the best receivers no matter where they line up, and doing it with a level of swagger that jumps off the screen. You can see opponents already frustrated before the game is even halfway done, because the moment they challenge him, it is like throwing a pass into a wall. 6 targets, 0 completions allowed, and not fluky numbers. He is diagnosing routes like he helped design the playbook. When he sits on a route, he sits with conviction. When he plants and drives, it looks like the receiver is running in slow motion. And when the down and distance matters the most, he tightens up even more, refusing to give an inch. That 4th and short play where he refused to backpedal, refused to give cushion, and erased the throw like it was nothing. That's the type of football IQ you cannot teach. That is instinct, years of studying, and a whole lot of confidence blending together at the perfect moment. And his attitude, man, that is what makes the whole thing even more fun. He celebrates like a player who knows exactly how dominant he is becoming, and who is not afraid to let the league know. You can feel the energy off him. That spark that spreads across the defense. Watching him and imagining what he and Cooper DeJean can be together for the next seasons almost feels unfair. A homegrown duo that understands modern offenses, plays with grit, and carries that old-school Philadelphia edge. This city has been craving that. And with the team rocking the Kelly green this week, it almost feels poetic every time those uniforms come out. It is like the whole team steps into another gear. It is part nostalgia, part attitude. But for whatever reason, it works. And now they are gearing up to walk into Dallas wearing that look. And the fan base is already buzzing. Cowboys fans are pounding their chest because they blew out a Raiders squad that is basically starting from scratch. Acting like that suddenly resets the balance in the division. But this rivalry does not work like that. When the Eagles roll in with confidence, especially wearing those colors, the whole mood changes. Philadelphia travels loud, and you know that stadium is going to feel 12% Eagles before halftime even arrives. While all this excitement builds, the noise around Jalen Hurts keeps getting louder by the hour. The outside world loves spinning narratives, and the last few days Viram Umfarako of speculation. Tiny details turning into massive storylines. The talk started picking up after that clip floating around showing a comment supposedly liked by his mom, hinting that the team needs to throw more, if it was real or not. That does not even matter as much as the ripple effect it caused. Add that to the chatter about the offensive staff, the rumors that certain people are frustrated, and suddenly some folks are trying to paint this picture that the locker room is going through a meltdown. And look, everybody knows things have not been smooth offensively. And Hurts himself already admitted the offense has struggled to find its rhythm. But the idea that this is turning into another quarterback versus locker room saga feels like people trying to stir chaos just because the team hit a rough patch. Even the voices plugged into the team are downplaying the severity, calling it overblown and reminding everyone that frustration during a slump is normal. A quarterback always ends up carrying the weight when things are off. That does not mean the building is falling apart from the inside. Still, the contrast is wild. While the offense is being placed under a microscope, the defense is starting to look nastier by the week, especially with the resurgence of Adoree Jackson. This dude has taken the brunt of criticism from the fan base, week after week, play after play, and yet he never folded. Every game he looks a little sharper, a little quicker reacting to the ball, a little more comfortable with his assignments. He is not perfect, and yeah, he has been beaten on a couple of early routes in games. But the impressive part is how he bounces back immediately. No slumped shoulders, no defeated body language, none of that. That is the kind of mindset that keeps a player improving even when the city is doubting him. When he talked about blocking out external noise and focusing on stacking good days, you could feel the authenticity. Some guys crumble under that spotlight. Some guys turn it into fuel. He seems like the second type. Watching him fight through adversity, hold down the cornerback to spot, and rack up key pass breakups has become one of the quiet success stories of the season. And you cannot ignore how much better he looks now that the defensive line is waking up again. A confident corner plus a disruptive pass rush is the most beautiful combination you can have. Once the quarterbacks start feeling that pressure, everything on the back end gets easier, and that is exactly when Adderey's confidence shines. He becomes more aggressive, more physical, timing his breaks better because the ball has to come out sooner, and this only gets more exciting when you remember Nolan Smith is still not at full speed. Watching him last game, it was clear he still has that burst, still has that bend around the edge. But the snap count was weirdly low. Every time he started heating up, he was coming off the field. Turns out he is still dealing with that tricep issue and the staff is easing him back into action. They do not want to rush him again like earlier in the season, so while he is contributing, he is not being unleashed yet. That means the version we are seeing right now is a limited one. And the real Nolan Smith is still waiting for the green light, and when he finally gets that green light, when Jalen Carter is fully healthy, when the rotation gets its rhythm back, this defensive line is about to turn into a storm. The kind of storm that forces offenses to abandon game plans. By the second quarter, the kind of storm that makes cornerbacks look elite because receivers do not even finish their routes before the ball is out. The schedule ahead helps too, with a short week into a Friday game and then a nice stretch of rest to reset. The timing is perfect for a late-season surge. The offense might still be looking for answers, but the defense is quietly stacking momentum. And once everyone is healthy, it is going to show up in a big way. And as all this starts to come together, you can feel the tone inside the building shifting. It is like the defense knows it is on the verge of turning into the heartbeat of this team again. The same way it used to be during those stretches where the Eagles would smother opponents for straight quarters. You can see it in the way the linemen celebrate after a hurry, the way the linebackers fly downhill without hesitation, and especially in how the secondary communicates pre-snap. There is a rhythm building, a confidence spreading, and none of it feels forced. Even the young guys are stepping up with the kind of energy you only see when a unit believes it is about to explode into something elite, and honestly, it all circles back to that blend of resilience and swagger that players like Quinyon Mitchell and Adoree Jackson are bringing night after night. Mitchell plays like a veteran but celebrates like a rookie, who still cannot believe how fun the game is, and that combination becomes contagious. Jackson brings the attitude of a player who has been tested, criticized, doubted, and still shows up ready to fight for every rep. That kind of mindset sets a tone, especially when the team is trying to stay steady in the middle of all this noise about the offense. A locker room feeds off the players who refuse to get rattled, and right now, the defensive side has more of those guys than people realize. It is the type of culture that can carry a team through rough stretches, while the offense recalibrates. And speaking of the offense, you can tell they are feeling the pressure that comes when expectations clash with inconsistencies, when a unit is used to producing at a high level and suddenly every possession feels like pulling teeth. Frustration naturally builds. And yeah, the outside world is going to pick apart every little thing, whether it is a misread, a poorly timed throw, or a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receivers. Suddenly everybody becomes an expert, everybody has a theory, and half of those theories ignore the fact that football is messy. The quarterback is always going to take the biggest hit, whether he deserves it or not. Jalen Hurts knows that. He has lived that. He has carried the weight of a city that expects nothing less than dominance, and even when he plays well, if the offense as a whole is not clicking, the narrative shifts straight to him. But internally, the vibe feels more like a team trying to clean up details than a team breaking apart. You see it on the sideline every game. Hurts talks to his linemen between drives, goes back and forth with his receivers, takes responsibility even when the mistake was not his. That is the behavior of a quarterback who still has the locker room. The disconnect is not effort or leadership, it is rhythm. They are searching for the flow they had before, and until it returns, every little hiccup will get magnified into something it is not. That is just the nature of being a contender. The spotlight never turns off. Meanwhile, the defensive line remains the anchor that is keeping this team from stumbling, and they know it. You can sense a hunger from guys like Josh Sweat and Jordan Davis. You can feel the electricity every time Jalen Carter bull rushes someone straight into the quarterback's lap, and then you look at Nolan Smith, still on that snap count, but showing flashes of the freakish athlete he is. Every time he dips around the tackle, you can feel the crowd hold its breath like they are waiting for a breakout moment. Once the medical staff gives him the freedom to turn loose again, He is going to bring an injection of speed that this defense has been missing, and the best part is, the chemistry in that room is real. They feed off each other's success. When one guy gets a sack, the whole line reacts like it was a team touchdown. The craziest part is that the schedule is lining up perfectly for a surge. After this rivalry matchup, the team faces a stretch that allows them to build momentum instead of being thrown into a gauntlet. The short turnaround into a Friday game, then an extended rest window, gives banged-up players a chance to get their legs back. And if there is one thing this roster thrives on, it is rhythm. When the Eagles start stacking wins, the energy changes in a way that is almost impossible for opponents to match. You see the swagger return. You see the offense loosen up. You see the defense start playing downhill with that extra half second of confidence. That makes everything feel easy, and while all this improvement is happening, the mood around the rivalry with Dallas only adds fuel to the fire. The Eagles love walking into that stadium and flipping the script. Philly fans make the trip loud, confident, and ready to drown out the home crowd in their own house. And this year, with the Kelly Green swagger and a defense that looks like it is waking up at the perfect time, there is this current of belief running through the fanbase, the kind of belief that says this matchup is more than a regular game. It is a statement, a chance to reassert control of the division and remind everybody that the Eagles are still a heavyweight, no matter how loud the chatter around the offense gets. The players feel it too. You can see it in how the veterans talk during the week, how the young guys embrace the moment instead of backing away from it. Rivalry games bring out the truth in a roster. They expose weaknesses and highlight strengths. And right now, the Eagles' biggest strength might just be that they are battle-tested. They have been through turbulence before. They have fought through injury cycles, offensive droughts, and defensive reshuffles. And yet every time the season hits one of those turning points, they find a way to respond. That is the thing about teams with championship DNA. They might wobble, but they do not fold. They might get criticized, doubted, questioned, but in the end, the players who matter tune out the noise and get back to work. Hurts has shown that before. The defense is showing it now, and if this defensive rise holds steady, the offense will not need to be perfect. They will just need to be timely. A couple of key drives, a handful of explosive plays, enough efficiency to keep the defense rested and dangerous. And once the rhythm hits, the entire team shifts into a different mode. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. The rumor mill in the NFL is buzzing with a move that has Eagles fans talking nonstop. Word on the street is that Jermaine Johnson, one of the league's most talked about defensive talents, is reportedly on the verge of joining the Philadelphia Eagles in what insiders are calling a lightning-fast deal. While neither team has dropped an official press release detailing the terms, sources close to the organization hint that the Eagles front office has been working behind closed doors to secure the pass rusher's signature. And whispers suggest that this could be a game-changing acquisition for a defense looking to assert dominance in the coming season. Johnson, known for his relentless pursuit of the quarterback and his uncanny ability to disrupt defensive lines, has been a hot commodity ever since he first burst onto the professional scene. Scouts have long raved about his explosiveness off the edge, his blend of speed and power, and his knack for making plays in crucial moments. The chatter now is that Philadelphia is not just adding talent, they are making a statement. This isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about signaling to the rest of the league that the Eagles are serious contenders, and they are willing to move fast to make it happen. Fans and pundits alike have been dissecting what Johnson's presence could mean schematically. Some speculate that his arrival might allow the Eagles to be more aggressive with blitz packages, while others suggest that his versatility could free up other players to excel in coverage roles. The locker room reaction, if the deal goes through, is rumored to be electric, with teammates reportedly thrilled at the prospect of sharing the field with one of the most dynamic defensive players around. Of course, with such a rapid development, there's plenty of speculation about what the trade or signing means for the Eagles' broader strategy. Are they positioning themselves for a deep playoff run? Is this a move designed to shake up a roster that has underperformed in key moments? The insiders won't say. But one thing is clear, the rumor has ignited a frenzy online, with fans speculating endlessly about Johnson's fit, the potential impact on team chemistry, and whether this lightning-quick acquisition could tip the scales in Philadelphia's favor. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.